going to do a quick midweek dinner using duck. This is my honey soy duck breast, and I'm going to serve it with some seared veggies that are going to be seared in duck fat. So delicious. First up, we need to get our duck in the pan. So 2 lovely duck breasts, and I like to score them. So we render as much fat out of the duck breast as possible, leaving us with super crispy skin. So just with a super sharp knife, we'll score the duck. Try not to go all the way through to the flesh. You just want to gently tap on it as I'm doing so it scores the fat. Now we need to season this with some salt. So a generous pinch of salt on both sides. Turn it over. And we can place this into the pan. Now, I haven't put the heat on at all. The best way to cook this is place the duck skin side down into a dry pan, no oil required. We'll turn the heat on. We'll start with a medium to low heat and then slowly bring the heat up to high. And by doing this, all of that fat's going to gently melt away, leaving us with thin, almost duck crackling. So after that, that's going to take about 4 to 8 minutes. So while that's happening, let's get onto the honey soy sauce. In a bowl, I'll add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm using a light soy sauce because when it does reduce, it gets saltier. So light is best for this recipe. This is essentially a teriyaki sauce because I'm also adding 2 tablespoons of sake. And instead of using caster sugar, I'll be using honey for this. So the sake can go in. And some honey. Great. Now give that a stir just to dissolve that honey. And I'll add some 5-spice. Last addition to this is some orange. Now some orange zest, I'll grate that directly over the top. So this is not in teriyaki sauce, but really does work nicely. Fabulous. Sauce is done. That's how quick it is to do. We'll pop that to the side. You can hear now there's a slight sizzle in the pan, and you can see that some of the fat is slowly liquefying. So that's what we're after. I'm going to turn the heat up ever so gently now to medium, and we'll let that keep cooking. While that's cooking, we can prepare our vegetables. 3 vegetables here, including cucumber. Now, cooked cucumber is so delicious. It gives it a real sweet flavour after it's cooked, and it only needs to be stir-fried. So I'm just going to cut 1 cylinder, and we'll just flatten it so it's easy to slice. And we're just going to cut them into battens. So 1 centimetre thick battens. I'm using a telegraph cucumber. It's also called a continental cucumber. Their seeds are not as prominent as a Lebanese cucumber. So I'm just taking my time doing this to get them all quite perfect. Done. Next is our carrot. Again, we want it to be roughly the same size. And to make it stable as you're cutting, we just take a little nick off the base. All of that won't be wasted. Put it in salads. And we'll square it off, and now we can cut it into battens. Okay, cucumber done, carrot. The last one is some daikon. Now, daikon is a white radish. It's really mild in flavour. It's not too peppery, and it can be eaten raw, and it also can be cooked. So this is a perfect addition to this dish. Again, we're going to use the same technique as the carrot. Okay, veggies are ready. Let's have a look at this duck. Wow. See how much fat has rendered out of that duck. Fantastic. Now I'm just going to turn them over. Oh, duck skin. That's really crispy. So good. And really carefully, I'm going to pour this duck fat into another pan. Duck fat is like liquid gold. So if you add the duck fat with potatoes, delicious. If you add that duck fat with all these vegetables, delicious. So that's why I'm not wasting it at all. But this duck does need to finish cooking and with the sauce. So now it's time to add the sauce. So we'll just pour all of this into the pan without touching the skin. I don't want to touch the skin because I want to keep it super crispy as it cooks. And this goes into the oven for about 6 to 8 minutes at 180 degrees. Okay, onto the veggies. So we'll pop this onto a medium to high heat, this fat, and we'll start with the daikon and the carrot, so that can go into the duck fat. Now these veggies are going to take about 5 to 10 minutes to cook, or until they're tender, and then I'll add our cucumber. They only take a minute. Okay, the duck has come out of the oven and I've allowed it to rest. I've also placed the sauce back on the heat just for a few moments to thicken up and become quite glossy. And have a look at these duck fat veggies. They've softened up, slightly crisp, and now's the time to add our cucumber. The cucumber takes no time at all, and you just want to coat them in that duck fat. And have a look at this one. See how it's just slightly golden, still crisp? That's enough cooking. Take it off the heat, and we want to drain our veggies on some paper towel. Now, I know I go on about duck fat because I do love it, but I wouldn't throw this at all. I'd allow it to cool down and reuse it for some chippies on another day. Okay, to plate this up. Okay, let's gather some of these veggies and we'll pop them on one side of the plate, and the daikon. And now for the duck. I'm going to slice into this one over here. Oh, look at that. Perfectly pink from top to bottom. I like to bring my duck out of the fridge about 30 minutes before cooking it. That also helps to cook it just evenly. And we'll just fan that out. And we'll just arrange them right next to our veg. Don't forget our gorgeous, glossy orange teriyaki. And we'll drizzle that over the dish. Yum, oh, what a dish. Perfectly cooked duck breast. I love it because you've got beautiful, juicy meat, crispy skin, and then fried cucumbers in duck fat. Who would have thought? But it works.